Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are tearing into the pages of Sarah Knight's amazing book, Calm the Fck Down. If you've ever felt like your brain is drowning in anxiety and what ifs, then this explainer is 100% for you. Let's jump right in. So let's start with a question that gets right to the point. Ever feel like you're just drowning in what ifs? How much of your mental energy is spent on things that haven't happened yet, and honestly, probably never will? It's a loop that so many of us get stuck in. And this is where Sarah Knight makes a really brilliant distinction. She says you're not just feeling worried, you are actively worrying it. Think of it like a loose thread on a sweater. You can't help but fiddle with it, right? But all that pulling and picking only makes the hole bigger. And that is exactly our goal here. We are going to walk through the key tools from the book so you can finally stop unraveling that sweater and learn how to put the knitting needles down for good. Okay, so first up, let's dig into the root of the problem itself, what the book calls the what-if epidemic. You know these questions. We all do. What if I bomb this interview? What if they don't like me? What if everything goes wrong? They're these endless, unhelpful questions that just send our brains spinning out of control. And this quote just nails it. That one little what-if thought, that's just the dangling thread. It's not a big deal on its own, but when you keep yanking on it with more and more worry, well, you don't just get a little hole. Pretty soon, the whole sleeve comes off. And that spiral, that leads straight to what she calls a freak out. So what exactly happens when that sweater is completely in tatters? Well, that brings us to the anatomy of a freak out. Knight gives us this super simple roadmap. See, it all starts with that little what if. That thought leads to worry. And here's the key. When that worry is met with inaction, when all you do is keep pulling that thread instead of actually doing something, that's when it explodes into a full-blown freak out. But here's the thing you gotta remember. A freak out doesn't look the same for everybody. In fact, it might not even look the same for you from one day to the next. Knight says it usually shows up in one of four common ways. The first two phases are probably pretty familiar. You've got anxiety, which is that paralyzing cycle of overthinking everything, and then there's sadness, which can just suck all the energy right out of you, leaving you too exhausted to do anything at all. The other two are anger, which makes us lash out and totally clouds our judgment, and avoidance. She has a great name for this one. Ostriching. Just sticking your head in the sand and pretending the problem doesn't exist, which, of course, solves absolutely nothing. But here is the good news. For every single one of these freak-out phases, there's a positive flip side. If anxiety has you in its grip, the answer is focus. If sadness is weighing you down, you need self-care. For anger, it's all about finding perspective. And for avoidance, well, the only way through is action. All right, now that we've properly diagnosed the problem, let's talk about the cure. And this, my friends, is the absolute heart of the entire book, the control principle. This right here, this is the mantra. It's like a supercharged, actionable version of the Serenity Prayer. It's not about passively wishing for wisdom. It's about actively deciding what to do next. So let's break it down. The core idea is this. You can't control the situation itself. The flat tire happened. The bad news came. The hamster is, well, those things are outside your control. The only thing you have absolute power over is your reaction to it. And the best part is, this isn't just some nice-sounding idea. It's a practical, straightforward, 3-step action plan you can use for literally anything life decides to throw at you. Okay, step 1, acknowledge. You have to name the problem. Knight calls our unspoken fears tarantulas. They seem terrifying when they're hiding in the dark, but once you shine a light on them, they're much more manageable. Step 2, accept. This is where you get real about what is completely out of your hands, and then you let it go. And finally, step 3, address. This is where you channel all your time, energy, and resources only on the things you can actually influence. And when you start putting all these pieces together, something really profound happens. It creates a massive shift in your entire way of thinking. You move from that anxious, spinning your wheels question of what if to the powerful, forward-moving question, okay, now what? It's a game changer. It stops the panic dead in its tracks and kicks your problem-solving brain into gear. And that, right there, is the ultimate takeaway. It's the difference between pulling the thread and making things worse and actually getting a needle to start stitching things back together. You stop worrying the problem and you start solving it. So I'm going to leave you with this. What is one tarantula in your life right now? What's one thing you're worrying about that you can shine a little light on, accept the parts you can't change, and then finally Address.